Hello everyone, welcome back to the course Version Control System. So now we are going to move new term, that is Git Workflow. Git Workflow. Why we need to learn this one? Git Workflow. Now we learn about version control system. So we know why we using version control system. And we just started the Git basics also. So now we can go and create one new repositories, create different branches, and we can add some commits. And based on the commits, if anything on the merge, we can resolve that. So we already learned this one. So before starting to implement a repositories or before we starting to work with Git, we need to know this term, Git Workflow. So what is Git flow? It is a recommendation for how to use Git. Means now we know the basics and we are going to use Git. So before start to use Git, we need to know about Git workflow. So it's just a recommendation. It's not a compulsory thing. Means no one gonna say you have to use the Git workflow. But if we maintain a Git workflow or we use a best Git workflow, it is very consistent and productive manner. It will give that. Okay. So it refers to the convention and procedures that a team or individual follows when using Git for version control. Actually, it's the outline for how the changes are proposed, how we can propose the changes to the team, how to review and incorporate it into a project. So remember one thing, depends on the project you are working on, the release schedules your team, the workflow is based on team or the size or anything other concepts. Means based on the team or based on the organization or based on the project, we can decide the Git workflow. But we have to use some consistent one. Not like, oh, okay, for these changes, I'm going to create these like branches. For next changes, we are going to do this flow. Not like that. When we start a project or in a team itself, we just follow something, some flow. It will increase the productivity. So there are 5 types of Git workflow. Actually, it's so easy. There is nothing to worry about these 5 types. So the first one, basic Git workflow. And second one, Git feature workflow. And third one, Git feature workflow with develop branch. Fourth one, Git flow workflow. And the fifth one, Git fork workflow. So actually, if we know these 3, it's fine. And we are going to use, means most of the projects or most of the teams going to use the third one. So let's dig in. So first one, so basic Git workflow. We're going to call the name as centralized workflow. So means only there is one central repository. Whenever we create a repository, the default branch will be master. So that is here. So this single central repository, all the developers using the same branch. The same branch. Means no one to think about any branches. We just cloning to local repositories. If it's we have so many developers, all the developers working with the same repository. Of course, now you can think about there will be some conflicts, there will be some issues, right? If we using the same folder for different functions, of course there is chance to some issues. So the main one, collaborating on code will lead to multiple conflicts. Of course, there are one code base and we using the same code and different developers changing the same files, and when we merging there is a chance to get conflicts. So actually it's a shippy buggy software production, so means there are so much bug will be there because of this conflict. And if we plan to maintain a clean code based on this Git workflow, it's very difficult. Okay, so the first one we already learned, basic workflow. So it's just only one branch, single central repositories. Okay, so that is basic Git workflow. But if only is maybe an individual developer is working on a project, they don't have any other developers to participate on that project, then of course they can use this one because there is not gonna get any chance for conflict. Whenever we trying or when we start to create or whenever start to do something, simple project or demo or just to familiarize the terms and everything, we can use this workflow. There is no issues for that. But when we start to working with a team or a big project, so that time there will be different developers. So that time it will make an issue. So second one is Git feature branch workflow. In its name itself, there is a feature branch. So whenever we create a repository, a new branch, the branch will be there. That is master branch. So based on the function or based on the feature, we creating new branch from master branch. So now there is a feature is there, can see in the green color. So we creating a branch from master. So for another feature, we creating branch from master. So this will help to work with no conflicts things. We don't have that much of conflict. So for collaborations and everything, we don't want to worry about this conflict. So after we did this feature, we will merge the code changes to master. So same for second feature also. Okay, that's about Git feature branch workflow. Third one, Git feature workflow. So just remember the name, Git feature workflow means that have the feature branch also with develop branch. There is another one more branch is there, that is develop branch. So this is a most popular workflow. So it's similar to Git feature branch workflow, but there is an addition. We have one more branch, that is develop branch. So that is added to the master branch. Okay. Just check the picture. We have a branch whenever we create the repository, we have a branch that is master. So can see the master branch. So we're gonna create another branch from master. Okay. So the develop branch also have the same code base that we did in the master. We creating one branch from master. So it look like same as master. Then what we gonna do? We're gonna create another branch from develop branch, not from master branch. On the previous one, for the Git feature workflow branch, from the Git feature workflow, we're just using creating a new feature branch from master branch itself. But here we have a develop branch. It's just same as master branch. Then we're creating new feature branch from develop. Then whatever we did the changes after the feature done, we push back to or we merge back to the develop branch. These two features merge back to the develop branch. Later on, it will gonna merge to master branch. So that's about Git feature workflow with develop branch. Most of the teams or most of the software companies using these methods. So I think everyone got an idea, right? Just remember the term in the name itself, the types of name itself, it's specify what it. The first one is Git basic. There is nothing, just basic. So means whenever we create repository, there is one master branch. Second one is Git feature workflow. So from the master branch itself, we creating a feature branch. Then third one is Git feature workflow with develop branch. So we creating a branch from master, then we creating another branch from develop itself, and whatever the changes, whatever the feature updates, we update into develop branch. Okay. So the next one is Git flow workflow. So no worries about the term. Git flow workflow is just same as the Git feature workflow with develop, but they have two other branches, release branch and hotfix branch. So what is hotfix branch? Hotfix branch means it created from the master branch and directly merged to the master instead of develop branch. Means mainly if we have any production issue after the release, after we release the software product, need to do something, some changes or some updates very fast. Means we don't have much time. So that time we just creating a hotfix branch. So that is directly from the master, not from the develop. Then we creating hotfix branch from the master and doing all the changes and merge back to the master branch itself. So after the deployment only, we just merge changes to develop branch because we have to make it same, right? So that's why. Then there is another branch is release branch. For release branch, it's not code related. There is no code related feature is added in the release branch. It's mainly, as its name says, the code, the things means maybe the documentations or any other tasks related to release branch. Release. Whatever we need to add based on the release, we can see in this branch. So here, that's the picture. In this representation, can see there is one master branch as same. Then we creating one branch, that is hotfix branch from master. Okay, we did the changes here and we merge back to the master branch. And there is a release branch also. So here the release branch from the develop, we just adding some one release details. Maybe it will be a documentation or maybe some bug fixes. Not bug fixes, maybe some updates on the release or maybe some readme details. So then we merge back to the master. All other is just same as Git develop. So develop branch is the feature branch is there. Just remember this picture, then it will clear. So the last one is Git fork workflow. Actually, for this workflow, we don't want to know more. It's mainly for open source software. So, if anyone need to know more about these terms, of course, it's a good thing. I already put the link inside the resource slide, so can check on that. So now we already learned with Git workflow. 5 types of Git workflow also we learn. So everything clear? Yep. So there is one more terms we need to learn before we start to create with repository. That is working with staging area. Staging area. So that's the term, staging. So when we work with a Git file, there are 3 main states: modified, staged, and committed. We know what is modified. Modified means we did some changes, but that changes is in our local repository itself. We didn't commit it into the database. And staged means we already know the files that we modified it is okay. It's ready to push. So this is the marked as a modified file in current version. Next commits means we just already know these are the files is going for next commit. So that files, that area is known as staging area. Committed means we already learned, means the data is safely stored in your local database. After update the changes, we just saving the change in our local repository, that is committed files. The staging area is a file Git directory. It stores information about what will go into your next commit. Okay. After modifying all the files, we're going to create a commit. So, we have to decide what are the commits, what are the files we planning to add for this commit. So, that is staging. Usually, the technical name of the staging will be index, but the phrase we just saying staging area. Okay. So, this is just a representation. So, this is our Git repository, the remote repository. Okay. We check out the project to our working directory and we did some modifications. Then that fixes, we just saying stage fixes. Then after stage fixes and before commit, there is a stage, that is staging area. Means it's already modified it, but it's not committed. Okay. How the staging area works? First thing, modifying files, adding changes to the staging area, reviewing changes, committing changes. Means we did some changes in our local working directory. We did some modifying. So that's here. When we make changes to files in a working directory, Git recognizes these changes as modifications. When we start to use Git, I will show all these details. Adding changes to the staging area. Choose which changes to include in next commit by adding them to the staging area. Review the changes. We just review. Okay. So there are some comments, git status and git diff staged we can use. Then last one is committing changes. Can commit them to the repository using the git commit command. There are actually, it's not much. The staging area is before committing and after modifying. There is some stage. There is some area. Just think about a real-time example. We are going to perform something on the stage. Okay. So, we already done all our preparation, all done. So, that is modifying files. We modify ourselves. Okay. We prepare everything correctly. Then, there is another person or another candidate is presenting on the stage. So, we are waiting. Okay. So, maybe after 5 minutes is our performance. So, this waiting time means we are ready to perform, but it's not our turn. We didn't come. Okay. Just think about that. Modifying files, adding changes to the staging area, review the changes. Review the changes means we just we just checking everything is perfect or not. Means before performing anything, we just gonna review ourselves, right? So that's it. Committing changes means it's ready to present. In now here, it's ready to save in our working directory. Okay. So these are the resources. So can go through this one. It will give more detailed understanding about all these topics. So let's summarize. What are the things today we learn? So today we learn some basic concept. That is repository, branch, commit, merge. After we learn these basic terms, we learn about Git workflow. We have 5 types of Git workflow. Okay. For the workflow, currently there are 5 workflow, but if you want to implement a new workflow, that's also possible. Okay. So then after we learn about the Git workflow, we check what is staging area. So now we know what is staging area. So staging will improve the productivity. How? How it gonna improve the productivity? Because after modifying the files, we checking the files, reviewing the changes. So if we miss anything or if you want to add something, need to remove something, everything we can do on that staging area. So if we do the staging proper, then later on we don't want to worry about the release. Okay, so I think everyone understand today's topic. So it's not much actually. So on next class, we are going to implement this one. Means we're going to create new repository, creating a new branch, initializing the repository. We can clone also, and we can merge, commit, and we'll show the staging area, everything. Hope to see you in next class. Have a great day.